We're here to fix the machine.
Battlefield Live.
You're listening to the Battlefield Live with Chris and Trey from Lanterns Radio Network, WGSO 990 AM, New Orleans. Want to thank you for joining us today. And what a nice day today, huh, Trey?
Yeah, it hadn't turned out to be too bad, actually.
How much rain are you getting in New Orleans over there?
No, it's actually quite nice outside. It's been nice. It was cloudy this morning, and then it's been beautiful since.
Man, it is storming its booty off.
Oh, well, that means it's coming our way then.
Yeah? I mean, I guess. It looks like it's just moving north. I didn't check New Orleans to see if it was raining.
Oh, there it is.
It is there. It is there. And actually, we had a warning yesterday from one of our callers. We were getting some tornadoes and hurricanes and all this stuff. And I guess he was just talking about this part of the state, you know?
Yeah, it must have been. I guess he was given a heads up just for your area. Knew where you were going. That's what it was.
Right. So if you all haven't heard, I actually saw this yesterday, that Muhammed Ali has passed away. What is he, 74, Trey? He passed away at 74?
I'm not sure. That sounds good to me.
Yeah, I think he I don't know what that means, but okay.
No, I mean, I don't know his age. So if you tell me he was 74, I'll just go with it.
Yeah, I think he was 74.
Yes, producer Chris is saying yes.
Yeah, and he's been pretty, from what I understand, he's been pretty kind of, I guess, in bad shape.
Well, I mean, he's been in bad shape for a number of years. I mean, he was diagnosed with Parkinson's a couple of years back. And, you know, when he made public appearances, he was a shell of himself. You could still see his personality tried to come out, but he shook really bad. And you know, a lot of people have speculated that how much of that Parkinson's diagnosis was actually a misdiagnosis. And in fact, just because he maybe stayed in the ring a little too long, took one too many headshots, you know, so it's kind of tough to be able to decipher the neurological implications. I'm assuming someone of his status, wouldn't you think that they would do some sort of autopsy with today's NFL brain science on the forefront of everyone's mind? I would think you'd want to take a guy like Ali and check out his brain, right?
Oh yeah, what's going to happen is boxing is going to end in like a month. And all the social justice warriors come out and bash capitalism for all those evil people trying to make money on.
Well, here's my thing. Here's my thing. Let me, if I could, chime in about Ali, right?
Sure.
Like, and I'm just gonna let everybody know up front, I'm about to be a major buzzkill. You want to go, Chris?
Well, I mean,
I'm sorry. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Go ahead.
I believe he died of respiratory issues, not brain issues. Like he had something going on with his lungs, not his brain.
But it was. I think it was. The report I heard was it was exaggerated by his Parkinson's.
Probably, but it had nothing to do with his mind.
Correct.
Okay, all right, go ahead.
Yeah. So, one of the things, my grandfather, he had Parkinson's and Alzheimer's, right? So the Alzheimer's took his mind. But the Parkinson's, many years ahead of time, ended up making him bedridden. Okay?
Right.
So I don't know how far, but I just know for a number of years you'd see Ali come out and he'd have his hands by him and he'd be shaking, right?
Right.
Okay, so let me be a buzzkill here. I have seen so many evangelical Christians posting quotes from Ali. And Ali, listen, most people don't realize, but Ali patterned himself and like his public persona, even all the way back to the days of Cassius Clay after Gorgeous George. Now, some people may not even know who Gorgeous George was, but he was just this really flamboyant wrestler. He's a pro wrestler, right?
Right.
And Gorgeous George was like the exaggerated version of the nature boy Ric Flair. If you could imagine somebody with the persona of Ric Flair, but then exaggerated.
Right.
That's who Ali patterned himself as far as a public athlete, okay?
Okay.
Let's put aside for a second, the dude was he was the GOAT, right, in boxing. He was the greatest of all time. I mean, you may be able to make some arguments for a couple of other people, but at the end of the day, if we're talking just about his boxing, his ability, what he accomplished, he's GOAT, right?
Right.
Okay. For me, that's where it ends. Like, for me, I'm done with him after that. Because, like, all these Christians are posting stuff on Facebook and memes and all this stuff with his comments and with his words of wisdom from Muhammad Ali. And I'm like, what kind of twisted worldview do you even, first of all, know? Like, would you be posting? I ain't seen anybody post a Louis Farrakhan meme that have posted Muhammad Ali memes.
Right.
Right? So, like, if you're going to post Muhammad Ali's words of wisdom, well, you better get cranking on the Louis Farrakhan words of wisdom, because Lord knows he even preaches. I mean, he gets out there and preaches entire sermons. There's videos that you can post of Louis Farrakhan. I mean, Muhammad Ali had ideologically lines himself up with Screwy Louis.
Right.
So, I mean, are you following me? Like, this is.
I guess I am in a way. I mean, I maybe I haven't seen the specific quotes that you're talking about, and I'll just speak from my perspective. You know, first and foremost, I've never been a big boxing fan.
Right.
I mean, I kind of, you know, when Tyson was in his heyday, it was like watching Jordan play basketball or Mark McGuire play baseball,
right,
or Andre Agassi play tennis. I mean, you kind of like had to watch it, right? So I was, I guess, a little too young to, you know, appreciate Muhammad Ali. I mean, I've seen some videos, and he had some pretty cool moves.
Yeah, but you're a big NASCAR guy, and you still appreciate the old Earnhardt, Richard Petty.
Well, I mean, I grew up watching Earnhardt. I mean, it's kind of like me being excited about Petty. I mean, I appreciate his contribution to NASCAR, but I mean, I don't sit back and watch like 1976 NASCAR films with, you know, I understand the nostalgia aspect of it.
Right.
I guess I just don't get all excited about it. So when I see quotes about Muhammad Ali, most of the quotes that I've seen was him just being kind of like an in-your-face boxer.
Right.
You know? So I guess that's my perspective, and to me.
Well, here's the parallel, the big societal parallel. You ready?
Go ahead.
We sit here today, and we have a triad of evil thrust upon us as an electorate.
Right.
We are sitting here weeks away from political national conventions where Hillary Clinton may end up losing California and still getting the nomination, right?
You talk about the world being upside down.
Okay, so she may lose the most liberal state in the union and lose it to a Democratic socialist, and then end up still getting the nomination because it's so rigged. And on the other side, there's Donald Trump. Those are our three options: Byrne, Hill, or Trump. Now you ask yourself, how in the hell did we get to this place, right?
Right.
Well, it's for the same exact reason that you have so-called conservative Christians out there posting words of wisdom from a dead Nation of Islam Muslim punching bag.
Right.
I mean, the dude drafted, he wouldn't go into the military because of his Nation of Islam beliefs and serve in Vietnam. And he made a big public stink about it. Right. I mean, look, that's why I said I know it's going to be a buzzkill, but it's just Breitbart warned us in 2011 and said that celebrity is everything in the United States.
And you're talking about Andrew Breitbart, not Breitbart the magazine.
That's correct. Andrew Breitbart before he passed. And he warned, he said, because celebrity is so huge, because it's everything,
right,
we're going to end up with a celebrity candidate one day. And we now have that celebrity candidate, but I see the same thing from people who are supposed to have principles, values, belief systems, worldviews that are antithetical, and we're still lifting that person up instead today, as a Christian, Chris, can I be honest with you? Just because it's just you and me talking on the radio right now. Can I just be honest with you for a second?
Go ahead.
Bro, I have tremendous sorrow today because of the passing of Muhammad Ali. You know why? because he died as a Nation of Islam Muslim.
Right.
And according to my worldview, bro, he is not experiencing anything good today. 504-556-9696. If you want to chime in on what Chris and I are talking about right now, and I know we've got a lot on the platter still to come, 504-556-9696. This is the Battlefield Live, Chris and Trey on WGSO 990 AM in New Orleans. We'll be back after this quick timeout.
To Lanterns Radio Network by following us on Twitter and Facebook at Lanterns Buzz.
Company's image on the internet? Are you looking for ways to leverage internet technology to streamline your business? An upgraded website or web application is the way to go. Vast Virtual Solutions is a technology company that specializes in developing websites that operate on the cutting edge with the ability to save you and your business time and money. Visit vastvirtual.com for a business quote today. vastvirtual.com.
The Bible affirms that people of faith, like the early pilgrims, are a moral beacon for our nation. Political leaders dismantle the Constitution, deny our God-given rights while implementing their new world order. The modern pulpit is silenced, and people of faith are unaware of the tactics used to undermine the biblical foundation of America. For solutions to win our country back, shining a light exposing their globalist tactics while revealing the best Pilgrim solutions. Visit pilgrimsbeacon.com. That's pilgrimsbeacon.com.
This advertisement does not constitute an offer to sell a franchise. The offer of a franchise can only be made through the delivery of a franchise disclosure document. Fresh Healthy Vending is a new company that is revolutionizing the vending machine business by filling them with healthy and natural foods. That's right. Protein and energy drinks, teas and juices, yogurts, fresh fruits and veggies, soy milk, natural cereals, granola bars. Can you imagine that? It's like having a whole food store in a machine. And you can get in on the ground floor by getting your own Fresh Healthy Vending franchise. You can have your own small business placing healthy food vending machines all over your area in places like schools and hospitals and businesses and airports and other high traffic areas. Locations that embrace the idea because, they make money too. Full training and support and assistance in acquiring locations. It's all about timing, folks. Pick up the phone, make the call to Fresh Healthy Vending, and get all the details on what could be your big life moment. Get Fresh Healthy Vending franchise information now. Call 800-424-8282. 424-8282. That's 800-424-8282.
Are you a business looking to maximize your marketing dollars? Big Easy Motorsports is the answer for you. We are a NASCAR Camping World Truck Series race team. Imagine sitting in your office trying to figure out how you can gain market share without breaking the bank. Big Easy Motorsports. Call today to learn more at 504-287-7268. That's 504-287-7268. Big Easy Motorsports, leading the way to faster profits for you.
Did you ever think that the presumptive Republican nominee for President of the United States would have similar policy and, suggestions as the Democratic Socialist candidate?
I never thought that a Republican candidate for president would hold both liberal and conservative policies at the same time.
Right.
I mean, this is totally fascinating. Visit the website battlefield.buzz for the latest from Chris and Trey from the Battlefield Live radio show.
We're here to fix the machine.
Thank you for sticking with us on the battlefield. You're tuned in to Chris and Trey on the Lanterns Radio Network, WGSO 990, and in the studios of GoDay.media. If you have any questions or you want to talk to us, give us a call, 504-556-9696. You can also tweet us any questions you may have at Lanterns Buzz, or you can tweet me at Paul Revere again or Trey at T-Rob Radio. You can also follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/LanternsBuzz. And you can also follow us on a number of different social media platforms, including YouTube, SoundCloud, Player.fm, iTunes, Google Play, and Stitcher. You can also find our podcasts on Spreaker.com at Spreaker.com /user/Lanterns Buzz, or you can just do a keyword search for Lanterns Buzz, the easiest thing to do. You can also go to our websites. We have two. Our network website for Lanterns Radio Network, you can find that website at lanterns.buzz. You can also find our radio show website at the Battlefield website, battlefield.buzz. Battlefield.buzz, that would be. Also, make sure if you haven't yet, subscribe to us on iTunes. You can do a Lanterns Buzz keyword search there or on Spreaker, and that way you can be reminded when we're on the air. Also want to give a big shout-out to our friends over at Vast Virtual Solutions. They have done a fantastic job on keeping us on the up and up with our two websites, lanterns.buzz and battlefield.buzz. You can visit them at vastvirtual.com if you're looking for some web development help yourself, or if you're looking to streamline your business. They are fantastic when it comes to building web applications to help streamline your business, and that's what they've done for us. We've also been working with GoDay Media, and we are in the GoDay.media studios. You can visit their website at GoDay.media, and they are the social media wizards, if you will. They also are a branding powerhouse, and if you are looking for help with your Twitter account or Facebook or your business and you're looking to get more exposure on social media, GoDay.media is a one-stop shop for that. Last but not least, make sure you visit dh-promotions.com. They provide all of our promotional products and corporate swag. They are specialists in the industry, and they provide us exactly what we're looking for. In fact, my friend Marshall over there, who actually was introduced to me by Rob and Melissa at GoDay.media, he is delivering my shirts in the next couple days. So I'm very excited to get that so I can start showing the colors of Lanterns Radio Network as well as the Battlefield Radio Show. So, Trey, you wanted to dive in a little bit more on this Muhammad Ali situation.
Yeah, just one more point. I mean, during the break, I was talking with producer Chris, and he made a really interesting observation just a couple of hours ago. And posted it on Facebook. If you go to @ChrisColeman, he said it's amazing to him. He actually said this last week, how it's amazing to him that like you can have somebody see something or 5 different people see the same exact thing and then come away with 5 different perspectives of the same thing. And he was saying that Ali's passing is a perfect example of that because he sees, like, for instance, sports fans are posting Ali's athletic achievements, and political people are posting Ali's political-ish quotes and memes. Religious people are posting Ali's religious-ish quotes and memes. Even more amazing is how Ali just happens to agree with everyone. Like, his Muslim friends are posting memes of Ali's pro-Muslim stances. His black friends are posting quotes about Ali bad-mouthing white people. The anti-war hippie friends are posting about the time that Ali dodged the draft. Conservative capitalist friends are posting how a black man can find success as long as he works hard and not lean on government assistance. And so his whole kind of conclusion is, I guess it's only fair that if you go post quotes and memes of Ali saying how much he loves beers and, well, we won't finish that one up there, but that's Chris for you right there. But to his point is like Ali was one of those guys who was able to relate to a lot of different type of people, even though he held some very strong belief systems. And for whatever reason, I think it's that celebrity thing that Breitbart was talking about. This probably made Ali ahead of his time. But, like, he was so good in terms of sports that certain groups of people that should have found him to be quite offensive ended up being, in fact, big fans of his. If you were, you said yourself, you weren't a boxing fan.
No.
But because there are people who are boxing fans, then, hey, they fell in love with Ali and they overlooked his, maybe some of his Farrakhan-ish style beliefs and anti-Christian beliefs or whatever the case may be. I just simplified it and said that today is, I told Chris, I said, producer Chris, I thought it was kind of neat that we kind of saw the same thing, that, I don't know if it's a compliment to Ali or if it's a criticism to our society and our culture today, that we don't hold to rigid belief systems regardless of the the political correctness of it.
Yeah, I think that a lot of people look and they try to, especially when someone dies, they try to, I guess, raise people up. You know, it's a natural, thing that we do. I mean,
right.
When Prince died, you kind of get a little sentimental. I had some, in my youth, we used to hear Prince's music on the radio. So stuff like that. I mean, we kind of do I do respect. But at the same time, if you have somebody that's out there and they're putting themselves outside of what their specialty is, I mean, Muhammad Ali was a boxer, but he did put himself out there for other things. That kind of makes you fair game for those type of, I guess, criticisms. I mean, I don't know that Prince, for instance, was out there talking about, political issues or anything. In fact,
actually, believe it or not, Prince was probably, you almost could say on the slick, but like, dude, Prince had some he's kind of like of the school of like Dick Gregory. Like if you go listen to some of the stuff that Prince was saying, like most of what he learned was from civil rights activist Dick Gregory, the black comedian turned, big time activist. I mean, so Prince was pretty much out there. And then, but see, that's a good example. You bring up Prince.
Was that outside of music, or was it his lyrics reflected that?
No, even outside of music, like in interviews, especially toward the end of his life. But I mean, think about it. He took on the industry, changed his name to a symbol.
Yeah.
Right. But like,
and a lot of artists do that.
But then at the end of the day, to find out that the guy was a 20 to 40 year, long drug addict.
Right.
Right. It's like the people who were like when Michael Jackson died. Like everybody just started talking about the genius that he was musically, but it's like that's not that. We need to look at who people are at their core.
I agree, but I think that in some part we have to understand that we're all human beings. We're all failed at being human beings. We all do things that are, I guess less virtuous. Some more than others. I think that with people's talents that we have, we can actually see through some of that stuff. And I'm not sitting here. I'm not a special pleader for any of these people because, quite honestly,
absolutely.
I'm of the school of like you that I'm sick of the Hollywood crap too. I'm looking for good, virtuous people that could be good role models, and I don't find any of these people that have recently passed would be somebody that I would recommend as a role model for my son or someone else.
Right.
I just think that like for instance with Michael Jackson, I think I see him as someone that influenced so many people's lives, and the good part about him was something to celebrate. But also, we should reflect on the things that he's done poorly and realize that he's not a god; he's a man.
I guess my only thing is, in close before we go to the break, it's just at some point we the people have got to work on our own individual virtuousness. Otherwise, we're going to continue selecting unvirtuous people.
That's right. All right, so stick with us on the battlefield. We'll be right back after this short pause, 990 AM WGSO, and follow us at Lanterns Buzz on Twitter.
Radio Network on Stitcher, SoundCloud, Google Play, iTunes, Player FM, YouTube, and other social media by searching keyword Lanterns Buzz or Lanterns Radio Network.
Did you ever think that the presumptive Republican nominee for President of the United States would have similar policy and, suggestions as the Democratic Socialist candidate?
I never thought that a Republican candidate for president would hold both liberal and conservative policies at the same time.
Right.
I mean, this is totally fascinating. Visit the website battlefield.buzz for the latest from Chris and Trey from the Battlefield Live radio show. Are you looking for a reasonable and affordable way to enhance your image or your company's image on the internet? Are you looking for ways to leverage internet technology to streamline your business? An upgraded website or web application is the way to go. Vast Virtual Solutions is a technology company that specializes in developing websites that operate on the cutting edge with the ability to save you and your business time and money. Visit vastvirtual.com for a business quote today. vastvirtual.com.
This advertisement does not constitute an offer to sell a franchise. The offer of a franchise can only be made through the delivery of a franchise disclosure document. Fresh Healthy Vending is a new company that is revolutionizing the vending machine business by filling them with healthy and natural foods. That's right. Protein and energy drinks, teas and juices, yogurts, fresh fruits and veggies, soy milk, natural cereals, granola bars. Can you imagine that? It's like having a whole food store in a machine. And you can get in on the ground floor by getting your own Fresh Healthy Vending franchise. You can have your own small business placing healthy food vending machines all over your area in places like schools and hospitals and businesses and airports and other high traffic areas. Locations that embrace the idea because, they make money too. Full training and support and assistance in acquiring locations. It's all about timing, folks. Pick up the phone, make the call to Fresh Healthy Vending, and get all the details on what could be your big life moment. Get Fresh Healthy Vending franchise information now. Call 800-424-8282. 424-8282. That's 800-424-8282.
From around the world since his death Friday was announced by family members. He died at a Phoenix area hospital from complications of a respiratory issue. The Philippines and Congo, scenes of two of his epic fights, both say they will mourn Ali's passing. Ali was 74 years old. The Blue Angels are remembering Marine Captain Jeff Coos.
The nation has lost an incredible husband, father, son, Marine, and teammate. Truly one of the absolute finest Americans this country can produce.
The Durango, Colorado native was killed when his F-18 fighter jet crashed not long after taking off from the runway in Smyrna, Tennessee on Thursday during a practice run. The Navy said the 32-year-old was in his second year with the Blue Angels and his first year as a demonstration pilot. This is USA Radio News.
Hey everybody, singer-songwriter Brett Watts here. If you're like me, always on the go, and don't have time to stay as healthy as we would like by eating all the right foods, well, I found an incredibly simple and easy way to get all my fruits and vegetables at once. It's called Daily Lift, L-I-F-T. It's a superfoods energy drink mix supplement that fills the gaps between what you eat and what you don't always have time to eat. This unique formula is packed with 16 plus fruits and vegetables and 59 superfoods, no MSG or GMO. It's all natural and organic, nature's best combination of antibiotics, enzymes, probiotics, and beneficial allergies in one powdered drink mix. Comes in two flavors, mint and berry, and both delicious. Daily Lift nutrients help balance your body's pH levels and boost your energy naturally, and it's safe for kids. So let's fire up that immune system and stay focused. Go to www.onedailylift.com. That's one, O-N-E, dailylift.com. onedailylift.com, and let's get healthy.
Water is the single most important thing your body needs, so you want to be sure it's the best for you and your family. Since 2005, thousands have depended on Berkey purified water. The Berkey...
Dave, what are you doing?
Just sending a gift to Dave 2037.
Who?
Me in the future. I save a little money from every paycheck as a gift to Dave 2037, so he can spend it on things like anti-gravity boots or a hologram Doberman, something cool like that. I think Dave 2037 deserves it. He worked hard. What are you getting Steve 2037?
I guess I was thinking Steve 2037 would just fend for himself.
Well, all right. But don't expect to be borrowing my anti-gravity boots.
You want to have money in your future? You got to start saving now. Putting some money from every paycheck into a savings account or contributing to your 401k can make a big difference later. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free ideas and easy ways to save, go to feedthepig.org. That's feedthepig.org.
Hey, let's just hope Steve 2037 doesn't get his hands on a cool time machine, because he is going to come back here and knock some sense into you.
This message brought to you by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Ad Council.
Hi, this is Jim Spyro. Join me every Wednesdays from 5 to 6 p.m. on 990 WGSO or WGSO.com. Remember, your influence counts. Use it. See you then.
Join me, Mitch Gibbs, every Monday night at 9 p.m. for In the Paint, where we talk New Orleans Pelicans basketball as well as NBA basketball live on WGSO Radio.
Are you a business looking to maximize your marketing dollars? Big Easy Motorsports is the answer for you. We are a NASCAR Camping World Truck Series race team. Imagine sitting in your office trying to figure out how you can gain market share without breaking the bank. Big Easy Motorsports. Call today to learn more at 504-287-7268. That's 504-287-7268. Big Easy Motorsports, leading the way to faster profits for you.
Tim McNally here. The Dine, Wine, and Spirit Show is daily, 3 to 5, discussing wines and restaurants and spirits right here at WGSO.
We're here to fix the machine.
Battlefield. And you're joined here with Chris and Trey from the Lanterns Radio Network. And Trey, I wanted to dig in a little bit on some of what's going on in our colleges around the country. And
colleges and universities.
That's right. I've been kind of just paying attention to all the political correctness and the safe spaces and trigger warnings and all this nonsense that seems to have kind of come out of, I don't want to say it's come out of nowhere, but it's to be a lot more in the news lately. And I think the reason why is that I think that some of the people that have been responsible for putting these type of environments in place are now starting to reject the Frankenstein that they've created. And I got an article here. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but there's an article written by a guy by the name of J.C. Bork. And he is, it's written in the Federalist. You go to Federalist.com. And he is he calls himself a recovering liberal who writes sputtering essays as a therapeutic alternative to throttling 20-somethings who wear hippie culture and fashion as a fashion statement. And the first part of his article, I'm just going to paraphrase here. Basically, he was explaining how when he was a part of the 60s, free sex, kind of real progressive love and peace movement, how that movement was such a different movement than what he's seeing today. And granted, I don't know that he was so much as giving kudos to that movement, being that he's a recovered liberal, but he's basically saying that the colleges back then were about getting rid of what they saw as fascism. And now he's basically saying that the colleges now are more or less supporting fascism. Does that make sense?
Kind of.
So let me just read.
So basically, if I understand what you're saying, is basically the same people, ideologies, and institutions that created what we see on university campuses and colleges across the country are now in the process where they have lost control of the monster that they've created. And what we see is the kids. Are you saying the kids are rebelling against now that particular Frankenstein, or is the Frankenstein itself rebelling against its creators?
Yeah, it kind of goes back to what you and I have called, like, say, Pandora's box, or the liberal progressive paradox that we've talked about, how progressives have instituted this mindset that is actually rejecting itself.
Right.
It's kind of like they're eating their own, like feminists are now
that's the best example.
Yeah.
So if you have a feminist who believes in women's rights and then supports the rights of like transgender communities, everything's all cool and everything, and we can fight for everybody's rights until some transgender female who is born a boy and wants to live out as a girl starts taking opportunities from cisgendered girls.
That's right.
and then you have everyone running to the rescue of the feminists because you don't want real girls to have fake girls taking their opportunities.
That's correct. So here's this guy. He says 45 years later, he said, by this time, we had instituted a wildly successful program in higher education, eliminating most of the conservative faculty and driving the rest underground. He said, we ran amok, instituting free-thinking progressive reforms at every level of the system. Real change, quote unquote, takes time. But we were in it for the long haul and dedicated ourselves to endure the grind of teaching 2 classes a week, cocaine and fueled orgies, and ceaseless parsing of curriculum into unrecognizable snippets such as post-Woodstock transgender Inuit long-form cinema studies.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
So-
Hey, real quick, we got a couple of callers you want to go to real quick?
Yeah, let's take one.
Let's go to line 1 and Matt. Matt from Metairie. Matt, welcome to the Battlefield Live with Chris and Trey on WGSO.
So Friday, the jobs report comes out. 34,000 new jobs. We got 94 million people who are not working.
Right. That's 68. That's 680 people in each state that the jobs are created, and I would imagine that it's not equally ratioed between all states. I would imagine.
Hey, but at least
Right.
it's growth. I mean, come on.
Yeah, so nobody just talks about that. Well, Hannity did briefly, but we're talking about, whether Trump is a problem or Trump is not a problem. Or,
well, not us, but
now we're talking about Muhammed Ali. I mean, the guy was a boxer. He was 74 years old. He died. Okay, he was a good boxer, kind of a loudmouth. May have been a decent guy. I don't know him personally. We're looking at the toilet, the bottom of the toilet bowl, and we're just wondering if Hillary Clinton is going to grab the handle and, flush it.
All right. Well, thank you, Matt. I appreciate the phone call.
So I would
look. I guess some people don't like the programming necessarily, but the whole point that we made with the whole Muhammad Ali thing in the beginning, right, was that it's kind of symptomatic of where we are just as a society in general.
Well, not only that, but I mean, I would imagine that Matt doesn't want us to talk about the fact that 94 million people are not in the workforce every single day since we talked about it yesterday.
Yeah, that's why you got to tune into the Battlefield Live 5 days a week at radio.battlefield.buzz. Chris and Trey, 5 days a week. Check out the schedule.
To speak more to Matt's point, and Matt, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt that he did not listen to the show yesterday.
Probably not.
The issue that we face now is not something that is immediate. In other words, okay, we got 94 million people not in the workforce, but how the heck do we get there? One of the ways that we got there is because our education system is so screwed up. Quite honestly, I could give a crap about the fact that we got 94 million people in the workforce when we have an education system that's teaching people to create that environment.
Yeah, or I'll go on even better. Trump isn't out there telling people what he's going to do about it, except that he's going to bring jobs back.
Yeah, and
so
let's have no power doing like
we got to get a presumptive nominee from the Democrat side, so that the two of them can then start hopefully not name call and actually lay out some policies that we can compare and contrast.
One of the things that we have to get out of doing is to say that the cultural problems that we face, the things that people say, oh, you social conservatives are so up, the cultural issues are what's creating the financial and fiscal problems.
Thank you. Yes, that is absolutely true.
We got to stand up with our big boy pants on, and we got to say that the culture needs to be changed back to I'm not talking about that we all need to wear button-up shirts all the way up, and women have to wear long dresses, and we all need to look like Puritans. What I'm saying is that we have to respect the fact that our rights do not come from government. Our rights do not come from man. They come from God, and that our government is supposed to protect those rights. And the reason why our country is so screwed up today is because the colleges are teaching kids generation after generation that socialism works.
Right.
And
so, look, let's take the quick. If you're going to change the culture, you got to change a lot of people's behaviors. And if you're going to change people's behaviors, you have to change what most, if not all, of people value. And if you want to change people's values, you've got to teach them the correct worldview. And there is only one right worldview.
And that's what the country was built on.
And that's what it was built on. That's correct.
Worldview, or a secular humanist worldview, or a Marxist-Leninist worldview. It was built on a biblical worldview, regardless if you're a Christian or not.
That's right.
The fact is that we do revere the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution, and both of those documents were put in place to protect rights that were provided by God.
Well, we have callers that are we'll get to them after the break, but we're coming up on a break, Chris, so why don't you throw us to that break, sir?
Yeah, so we're going to continue to talk about this, what's going on in the colleges, because this is really important for us to manage. I mean, the problems, we can whine and complain about our problems, but if we don't go into the solutions to fix those problems, it's completely pointless. We might as well talk about feet. So stick with us on the battlefield. We'll be right back after this short pause. You're listening to Chris and Trey from the Lanterns Radio Network and the Battlefield Live radio program. We'll be right back.
Lanterns Radio Network by following us on Twitter and Facebook at Lanterns Buzz.
Are you looking for a reasonable and affordable way to enhance your image or your company's image on the internet? Are you looking for ways to leverage internet technology to streamline your business? An upgraded website or web application is the way to go. Vast Virtual Solutions is a technology company that specializes in developing websites that operate on the cutting edge with the ability to save you and your business time and money. Visit vastvirtual.com for a business quote today. vastvirtual.com.
Hey folks, this is Jeff Cruair. Join me at 7 a.m. till 11 right here on WGSO 990 a.m. for Ringside Politics with a Punch. We're going to be bringing you great guests. We'll discuss the latest hot topics and, of course, taking your phone calls. On Monday, Ringside All-Star Chad Rogers joins us of TheDeadPelican.com. We'll look at the conclusion of the regular session of the Louisiana Legislature and what's in store in the upcoming special session. All of that and more right here on Ringside from 7 to 11 on WGSO.
Want more floor for less money? Then visit your local Lumber Liquidators store for high-quality flooring without those big box prices. Check out over 400 flooring varieties, including hardwood, laminate, bamboo, and more. Get laminate for 69 cents a square foot, solid hardwood from 99 cents, and bamboo from $1.79. Lumber Liquidators is committed to making sure you receive the highest quality, most beautiful flooring at the lowest possible price. So come on in, see all the latest styles, and talk to one of our flooring experts. Visit LumberLiquidators.com for your local store.
Whether you're building a block wall, laying a slab, or putting up a basketball goal, concrete's going to be a part of the mix. And with Sakrete, you've got a great assist. For 80 years, Sakrete's been the top choice of both pros and DIYers for concrete and concrete-related products, offering higher quality, lower maintenance, and rock-solid durability. Your goal is to get the job done right. Your best shot is with Sakrete. Find Sakrete products at your local hardware dealer or visit Sakrete.com to learn more.
The Bible affirms that people of faith, like the early pilgrims, are a moral beacon for our nation. Political leaders dismantle the Constitution, deny our God-given rights while implementing their New World Order. The modern pulpit is silenced, and people of faith are unaware of the tactics used to undermine the biblical foundation of America. For solutions to win our country back, shining a light exposing their globalist tactics while revealing the best Pilgrim solutions. Visit pilgrimsbeacon.com. That's pilgrimsbeacon.com.
Did you ever think that the presumptive Republican nominee for President of the United States would have similar policy and, suggestions as the Democratic Socialist candidate?
I never thought that a Republican candidate for president would hold both liberal and conservative policies at the same time.
Right.
I mean,
like
this is totally fascinating.
Gyroscope.
Visit the website battlefield.buzz for the latest from Chris and Trey from the Battlefield Live radio show.
We're here to fix the machine.
Thank you for sticking with us on the battlefield. You're tuned into the Battlefield Live with Chris and Trey. Want to, send our thoughts and prayers out to the family as well as the soul of Jeff Cuss. Was the Blue Angel number 6 pilot that just recently passed. Trey, have you ever seen the Blue Angels?
Oh yeah, man, several times.
Yeah, I used to go on the sailboat with my cousin out of Pensacola, and we'd go watch them every year. And you talk about completely awesome. Amazing.
Yeah, it's amazing how close they are and the things that they do at the speeds in which they do them.
Hey, do we have some callers?
We do, online too. Let's go to Tony from Metairie. Tony, welcome to the Battlefield Live with Chris and Trey on WGSO, New Orleans.
Hello, guys. Good to
Hey.
see you all. I was just wondering that earlier y'all were talking about Muhammad Ali, and then you kind of mentioned Michael Jackson and Prince, and now I was wondering who do you think these guys are looking at right now? Do you think it's Jesus, Allah, 72 virgins, Satan, God? Did they become avatars? Did they join with the cosmos? Maybe they met the Heaven's Gate comet, or they're part of the space odyssey, or they were reincarnated.
Well, Tony, you heard my my comment to Chris. Is that today when someone of this type of notoriety dies, and knowing what Muhammad Ali believed and stood for, it's not a day to celebrate his life. In my opinion, it's a day to grieve, because I don't believe he's anywhere experiencing any pleasure at this moment, and it's only been 24 to 48 hours, and he's got an eternity of this. So I think we did comment on that.
Well, I must say, I came in a little late, so I might have missed
Gotcha,
that. But
gotcha.
that's an interesting, but why is it? I shouldn't say why is it.
Right.
When you all are talking about the colleges and stuff and changing the culture and stuff, I think that at least from my assessment of some things I've seen and watched in society, watched television and news and media, and maybe I can even think going back as far as watching a lot of Johnny Carson shows, and you can see and hear as people speak the culture and how it changes. And then just this week I heard a lady talking about colleges and universities, how they bring out those words like you're talking about, their culture. Then they gumbo mix it with the word diversity and tolerance. And and then people are wondering why they send their children there. And then next thing you know, they come home and the kids are as warped as I don't know what you want to call it. They very warped. And whatever they grew up or they learned from their ethical or moral or spiritual foundations is like shocked out and gone and distrusted, and they're following after probably one of the biggest things I've been saying in life, hedonism. There's the worship at the altar of hedonism, and people believe that they have the right to have fun. And maybe that's what the Declaration of Independence bring out, life, liberty, and pursuit of hedonism. And people do that. And you try to take away someone's hedonism. Oh, I'm not hurting anybody. We're just going to have a little fun, Mom and Dad. I can remember myself saying those things. We're just going to have a good time. I'm only going to drink 2/5 of Jack Daniel. That's all, and 24 Dixies. I'm just going to have fun.
That's not true. That's not true, by the way. You didn't. That wasn't really you, right?
We'll have to sit down when I can tell you about some cultural diversity I used to practice.
Thank you, Tony. Appreciate the phone call. Go ahead, Chris.
There's two things. Number one, our founders did give us the protection of the government to be buffoons, right?
In a lot of ways, yes. The freedom to be foolish.
That's correct. So we have the freedom to be stupid, ignorant, and foolish. And unfortunately, that is one of the other things they predicted. The second thing I wanted to comment on is I think what Tony mentioned here is about how the culture changed by watching, say, Johnny Carson. This is something, Trey, you and I have talked about a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And that is, it's a lot. It's always puzzled me. And then when I did a lot of study for our book, Deus Ex Machina, The Progression of Secular Socialism.
Pick it up on Amazon.com or Lulu.com today.
That's right. So it made complete and total sense to me when we did all the research, is that the culture has changed by design.
Right.
So
it's been intentional.
Right. In order to be able to, and I just wrote a post, believe it or not, this morning. I couldn't sleep at 2:30 this morning, called Your Culture is Gone on lanterns.buzz. You can go check it out. And I write specifically about what Tony just mentioned. The bottom line is that the culture has changed because there's been architects or social justice warriors, whatever you want to call them, that have slowly but surely tried to destroy the culture in order to be able to bring in moral relativism. Once moral relativism is in place, it will create chaos and disorder, and then they can rebuild the order in the morality and ethical, substructures that they want to create.
Expand on what Tony just said, and look at a kind of a recent example. Anytime there's a state that in the constitutional sovereignty of their own state, they pass some kind of, correct gender bathroom law, or they pass some kind of traditional marriage law, right, upholding traditional marriage. You have groups like the NBA. Oh, we're not taking our All-Star game to your state now if you don't change that law, right? Or the NFL. Is that kind of like what Tony's talking about too? That like because people's fun, they enjoy those things, that the left can use those to slide the culture further over into accepting what is ultimately morally wrong.
That's exactly right. And what they're called is stratified social substructures or structures. So basically,
let me think about that. Stratified social substructures.
Or structures. So basically, imagine like your house, you have like outer walls of your house.
Right.
You have sub walls of your house, and those walls hold up the roof, keeps you out of the rain, keeps you out of the weather. Well, imagine if you started like taking and looking out all the boards in the house and said, you know what, this board is not right. This board is not right. And you started removing all the boards of the house.
Right.
Well, some of these social engineers, they understand that the house is going to collapse on itself. They'll have a foundation there that they could crack up and rebuild in their image, and then they'll rebuild that structure. So things like bathrooms, as silly as it may sound, as crazy as it may sound, the idea that the male and female dichotomy is being destroyed,
right,
is by design. It is a structure or a stratified structure, one little sliver of that, a very powerful one, that the progressives see that has to be destroyed in order to be able to rebuild society in their image.
That's good.
Yeah. So, and look, I've written a lot about this, and it happens to go back to what you and I talked about yesterday when that post that Mary had made, and the fact that class warfare is intended to get people to turn on their own social structures. We talked about the Christian hegemony, right?
Right.
Which is these substratified substructures. So all our morals that have been built through the church and through Western culture and things like do not kill, do not steal, all of these things stand in the way of instituting statism or socialism. So they have to be destroyed. And the way they do that is progressives put us in these little boxes. They say, well, you're a white guy, you're a black guy, you're a transgender person, you're a homosexual, you're a female, and they pin us against each other. And then as we fight in class warfare and we become more class conscious, we actually destroy these stratified social structures that are holding up the roof, if you will. And at some point, we'll all be standing in the rain. So Trey, any other further comments or?
No, man, it's amazing how quickly an hour can go when you're in a zone, and we appreciate the callers. Why don't you go ahead and take us home?
Yeah, so look, if you're interested in the show, we do talk about this type of stuff in great detail. We write a lot of books, write a lot of blogs. Check out lanterns.buzz, and you want to follow the show, go to battlefield.buzz. You can also follow us on Twitter at lanternsbuzz. You can follow me at me at Paul Revere again, and Trey at T-Rob Radio. But do make sure that you go to battlefield.buzz and follow the show archives there, and you can get links to all of our social media where you can catch us anytime. Talk to you later, Tater.
It's Jeff Crouere, host of Ringside Politics. I'd like to introduce WGSO General Manager Richard Tate.
WGSO is locally owned and operated right here in New Orleans. We believe in cultivating local talent and emphasize local programs. If you have an interest in hosting your own program, we have some prime spots available.
Thanks, Richard. Folks, take advantage of this great offer. Email me at